Oh, lads. Separation arc, baby. I don't know.
Time to break up.
I don't know how Riss is doing. Reagan didn't get drunk this episode, apparently. So,
we're not.
Am. Riss sure is. I'm getting there.
You're not drunk yet?
Not really.
Oh, well, I am. So I'll be the drunken for the both of us.
Let me slam this real quick.
All right.
All right.
So the episode starts with a flashback.
Yeah, so this was like right out of left field. I mean, this was an anime-only scene. There's no kind of flashback of Reagan's job in the manga.
Yeah. Well, and we were kind of discussing this, like, is it even stated, like, what he did as a job beforehand?
I'd have to go back and read. I mean, from just reading Separation Arc, there's not any indication of what his job was prior to this. Mm-hmm. Just besides it was like a business job.
Just doing business.
Doing some business.
Doing business.
Taking care of business. But it totally makes sense that he would have like a salesman type of job. Yeah. I love that. I was losing it from the very beginning, just seeing like more of the Reagan mythos and his backstory. Yeah. The lore, if you will.
The Reagan lore. The green tie. I am such a Reagan stan that every single detail in this cold open had me losing it. Like the water cooler in his apartment. Yeah. That he still has.
Pajamas. The fact that he was barefoot. Like I'm like every little thing. I was just like, wow, inspired.
Criticism.
Yeah.
Pajama wasn't pink. I wanted it to be pink.
The pajamas. The jam wasn't pink.
The pajamas weren't pink, and I think they should be pink.
I kind of liked gray. I don't know. I liked the dark gray.
Pink looks good on my boy.
It does, but pink is like, pink indicates his,
Oh, you're gonna color theorize on me?
Well, because he had the green tie. He had the green tie, and I feel like pink is sort of like him being who he wants to be.
Oh, T.
Yeah.
They were like, this is
before...
This is like, you can't wear that shit.
This is before he realized...
He was gay?
Yeah. Basically.
Anyway.
What else do we have in our notes here? One small thing. He has this little tag, so when he's leaving his desk, it shows his phone on his desk. Mm-hmm. And it says, and it says, he has this little tag on his phone that says... the key to sales is a smile. Mm-hmm. And I love that part because that's what he says to Mob in the Urban Legends episode.
Yeah.
The key to walk-in sales is a smile. So I love kind of seeing like that he got some of his ideas about like how to run a business from his first job.
Yeah. That too, and I noticed this right away, but like when he's like, because when it shows up with the flashback, it's obviously him like his last day and he's leaving and nobody cares.
Yeah.
I
also think this is hilarious because this is a fic that I wrote. Like I wrote this fic where Reagan has a call center job and he quits.
Yeah.
And no one
cares.
Like, has Bowen's been reading my fanfic?
They were like, oh, spicy take. Well, because it shows that he doesn't really have a connection with anybody in his job.
Yeah, he's so lonely.
So after that, we go, Mob does some push-ups.
He does like 35 push-ups, which is a lot of push-ups.
That's more than I've ever done, like,
in
the accumulation of all 22 years of my life. I've never done that many push-ups.
He's doing great.
He's doing wonderful. I love him.
He's bulking up.
One thing I really liked was, I love, and I usually don't actually watch the Japanese subs, or Japanese dubs, because, I'm scatterbrained and I can only pay attention to so much at a time.
That's valid.
And but obviously we're watching it in Japanese, and I love when like they add like little phrases of English when the characters want to be cool.
Saruta, nice idea.
Nice idea. And Yukawa says that to Saruta. He's like, Saruta, nice idea. He's so cute. So yeah, and they're all like, oh my god, like 2 people's birthdays were today. Let's go fucking to a family restaurant. The same family restaurant that was in episode 1 that Misato's little cult gang goes to.
Yeah, the Psycho Helmet cult was meeting at the same restaurant.
Misato's in a cult. Do her parents care?
No.
Where are our parents?
No one has parents in this universe.
You're right.
Obviously. There are no parents.
You're not right because we see many parents, but that's okay. Go off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a nice scene to see Mob, like, hang out with his friends and having a good time. And his friends are all so nice to him and so accepting of him. And then, of course, Reagan's phone call just brings him out of that. And I really like how they kind of faded away the background and showed Mob, like, the way that this other obligation is, like, infringing on his ability to have, like, a normal childhood.
Right. And, and the thing is, it's, like, to Mob, and, like, someone else pointed this out, and I didn't catch this right away, was, like, Mob is, like, oh, it's been a while since, like, I've been able to hang out with people. And at first you're like, oh, that makes sense. But then you're also like, this happens right after Mogami.
Yeah.
So to Mob, it feels like it's been 6 months since he's seen these people. It's been 6 months since he sees Reagan, and he's like, I do not miss this bitch.
He's like, I still can't deal with you.
And need 6 months longer without you.
I think that the way that Separation arc directly follows Mogami arc is so interesting to me, and I feel like I haven't really
made those connections,
figured out, like, exactly what's going on with that. But I think there are, like, the way that Mob reacts to it, the way that Reagan reacts to it, there's still, like, a lot of things that I feel like I need to let percolate a little longer, and, like, how, like what does Reagan think, like, what does he think happened, and why does he go forward, like, treating Mob this way after Mogami arc?
Yeah, well, like, because I feel like, and we'll kind of we'll touch this, what Reagan actually says to Mob during, like, their little breakup, but, like, I feel like Reagan doesn't know what Mob went through. Like, I don't think Mob even told him.
I think that's likely.
Yeah. So speaking of which, going into the breakup.
So this scene is so similar to the first case of season 1, where it's pretty much the same ghost, basically. The same clients, same setting. Yeah,
which is really funny, honestly.
Yeah, that Mom's just like, this is just the same old shit.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. He does, in the manga, he does say fuck work in front of the customer.
Yeah, that was one change that Bones made was, in the manga, they break up, if you will, in front of the clients, and in here and in the anime he waits until they're actually leaving, and they have some privacy before he starts being like, you're shit, I hate you, fuck you, like, I have some privacy, please.
Mob says fuck you to Reagan. He said that in canon.
He said, didn't you see the subtitles? He said fuck you, Reagan.
So like we mentioned, Reagan is really mean.
Yeah, this part, I mean, it just, I remember first, like, reading this arc, when I was obviously first reading the manga, and I know, like, Arissa had sort of told me some things, like, that some people would make an argument that Reagan was, like, abusive towards Mob. And up until that point, I was like, I see absolutely no, like, evidence for that. But this one scene is the one part where I'm like, okay, he's definitely pulling that kind of, like, no one cares about you except for me thing. Which is, like, very, like, red flags going off. Like, making Mob kind of, like, dependent on him.
Right, exactly. And I think the thing is, it's like, Reagan really... He depends on Mob being dependent on him. Not only does his business depend on him, but clearly emotionally, as we see throughout the episode and throughout what we'll see next week, like, obviously he emotionally is very dependent on Mob, and he needs Mob to be just as dependent on him.
Yeah. And I think that's something that people kind of pointed out about this scene, is that Reagan's just projecting. Like, he doesn't have anyone who cares about him, so he doesn't think that Mob has anyone that cares about him.
Right, but he's like, it's wrong. He's wrong.
He's wrong. He is wrong.
Because the thing is, Mob has a very strong support group besides Reagan. Like, and I feel like there are...
And that's, like, the whole point of the show.
Right, that's the whole point of the show, is, like, they kind of tears away from that trope where Mob doesn't really have anybody else, but he does. He has a lot of people to support him, and you definitely see that at the very end of the series.
That's the whole reason why he's okay in the end, is because he's, like, built up this support network for himself.
And that's even the point of Mogami, is that he's like, you know, you're right, there are crappy people in the world. That's why I'm so lucky to have so many people who care about me. I should thank them when I get back, except for Reagan. Fuck that guy.
He's like, no, I'm gonna say fuck you to Reagan.
But so, as we kind of discussed, like, so Reagan makes an offhand comment. He's like, oh, like, your friends that are using you, did you go on, like, a fake date again? And so that kind of shows that Mob has definitely told Reagan, like, stuff. About Emmy.
He told him about what happened with Emmy, which just really just gets me because, I mean, we see a little bit of Mob, how he confides in Reagan, and, like, when he's telling him in season 1 about what happened with, like, the LOL cult, and how he's really just kind of, like, unloading, like, his issues about that, like, onto Reagan, and kind of getting this, like, little therapy session from him. And I love that. I love that dynamic for him, and I love the implication that Mob told him about what happened with Emmy, but then Reagan just turns it around on him and uses it against him at this moment, which is, like, a very in-character thing for him to do. And honestly, I'm the type of person that does shit like that.
You have done shit like that.
I know, and it's not a good character trait, I mean, but I understand it.
Yeah.
And it's a real character trait.
But that's why I think Mob, I don't think Mob did tell him about Mogami, because the thing with Emmy happened a while back, like, probably long time enough for Reagan to be like, oh, we can joke about this now. But he doesn't realize what he's saying is directly parallels to what Mogami was trying to tell Mob.
Right. He'd be like, everybody's just using you.
Exactly. And, like, so I don't think Reagan, or I don't think Mob told Reagan what happened in Mogami Land, or even how long he was in there for.
I think Dimple actually mentions...
You're right. Dimple does say he's been in there for far too long. It's, like, months.
And after Dimple comes back out, I think he mentions to Reagan that he had been there for a long time. I know because, like, I wrote a fanfic.
God damn it.
So I did the research. And I think that Dimple mentioned it to him. So I think that Reagan knows, but I don't think that they've ever really spoken about it.
Yeah.
Just because they've never spoken. It seems too heavy. Like, I don't think they've broached that topic. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think this would be happening if they had. Right.
I do too. I agree. And I think maybe after separation arc they talk about it, but definitely not before. There's also a lot of, like, cinematic parallels with him and Mogami. Someone else pointed out how there's a cobweb, like, in the scene that the camera is looking through, similar to how there was a cobweb with Mogami and everything like that. So there's definitely, you're supposed to make these connections.
Yeah. I'm really excited for, like, the side-by-side GIF sets we're gonna get of Grow Up for Crying Out Loud and You Have Grown Up next episode. It's so good. It's so good. And I think also, I mean, this is something that you want to talk about, but how Mob... you go on.
So it's been a while since I actually reread the separation arc. I usually reread them as the episodes come out, but I didn't get to this week. But I felt like in this, Mob isn't as angry as he might have come off in the manga, or how angry he should feel. It feels more so like, okay, he's definitely hurt, obviously, at the initial breakup, where he's like, I'm not easily used, and I won't be. I'm not being used, but and I won't easily be used.
And he's like shocked at what Reagan is saying to him, too. He's kind of like, gasps at it, like, oh, really?
Right. But the thing is, and, like, he obviously is, because he does there is one line where he kind of snaps back. He's like, no, that's not happening, or something like that. But, like, later when he's talking to Ritsu, it really comes off more like Reagan, or Mob took Reagan's words to heart, but not in the way Reagan wanted him to. Yeah. Like, he does hear Grow Up for Crying Out Loud, and he's like, oh, you're right, I shouldn't be as dependent on you as I am. And Mob doesn't, especially when he's talking to Ritsu, it doesn't look like he holds, like, ill intent or even grudges against Reagan. It's more just like, yeah, I'm really dependent on Master Reagan, and I shouldn't be, so I'm gonna kind of, like, distance myself from him only because I want to grow. Yeah. And that's a real Mob thing to do, to take those kind of emotions, and instead of being angry at Reagan or being hurt, he's like, you're right, I should grow.
And that's exactly what he did with Mogami.
Exactly!
That's gonna be an audio spike. I just can't contain my screaming.
Well, that's the thing, is, like, Mob, that's, like, how Mob gets through every conflict in the series.
From it.
Is exactly. He instead of getting upset, grudges. He learns from it. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think he subconsciously holds grudges, but he consciously, like, tries to forgive people and kind of works on himself.
Right, and that's the thing. And that's what really gets me, is, like I said, I feel like he did take Reagan's words to heart, but not how Reagan intended. Yeah. Reagan definitely wants him to be dependent on him. Right, and Mob's like, oh, actually, I shouldn't be dependent on you. Reagan's like, wait, no.
I meant everyone but me is using you.
Right. But instead of even being pissed, Mob, he might be subconsciously pissed, but Mob is just like, you're right. I don't want to feel used anymore. I'm going to change myself, which is really telling.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good writing.
It's good writing, lads. Did you know? It's good writing.
Did you know it's good writing?
Anyway, so, next.
What is this next note about? I think I just wanted to talk about how in the scene where Reagan sees Mob in the street and then is talking to Dimple, it's just so funny because that whole little rant that he does in the manga is like one panel. Yeah. And Bones was like, you know what? We're going to make like 200 frames out of that one panel.
Yes!
And we're just going to make him move so much.
If Reagan stops moving in the next 5 seconds, we all die.
So much in this episode.
He does.
Their budget for Reagan's hands was the same as their budget for the Mogami fight last episode. This is literally my theory, is that their budget is the same each episode, and they're like, it either goes into a beautiful fight scene, or it goes into Reagan's hands.
Fair. My favorite frame from that is when he, like, gets Mob's hair.
Yeah. God bless.
That frame is so fucking funny.
It's just so good, and I think it was really, like, how like, he's like in denial in that scene. Yeah. And just he seems so pathetic in that scene too, when he's just like, oh, Dimple, like, you wanna follow. It said that weirdly. Yeah. You want to follow around this normal middle schooler? Like, you're so pathetic. But
Dimple's like, yeah, sure.
Reagan's like, yeah, and Reagan's just, again, projecting.
Yeah. I agree.
He's the king of projecting. And then we finally get depressed Reagan montage, which is like my favorite. I think it's weird when you realize that from like an anime only perspective, like they don't know much about Reagan.
Yeah.
Like they've only really seen him
how he wants to be seen.
Yeah. And how he presents himself. Oh. So seeing and around other people, like have we ever seen him like by himself?
No.
Like, I don't think we...
No,
we've only seen him around
really.
clients, or we've only seen him around Mob or around other characters.
Yeah, and then even when Dimple comes into the picture and he can see Dimple at the end of season 1, we don't even see how he is when Dimple goes into Mogami Land and how he's by himself.
Yeah.
We don't see this.
So we've never seen Reagan, like, by himself.
Yeah.
Which is, like... I mean, I think a lot of people can agree, like, that's when, like, the truest, like, you comes out.
Yeah.
And... So this whole scene when he's in his apartment and he just kind of like throws his coat and his tie on the bed and he's just like sits in his couch and he's just like, well,
what am I supposed
to do? What do I do now?
Yeah.
And then this whole scene when he logs into his Facebook and he has no messages from his friends. And this is the first panel that I saw of Reagan when Rissa was
I sent it to
reading
you.
the manga. She sent me that panel. And
it was like out of context and I was like, but this is so fucking funny.
And it was very funny. And I'm glad that the panel when it's like, it's your birthday. You have 0 messages from your friends.
Really?
That was the first thing I ever saw of Reagan. And I'm so glad that it was because
it's just a lot.
It's just the truest.
It is.
The truest Reagan.
It is.
And I just loved the scene when he sees the email from his mom. And I think looking back at that scene from the manga, I think like the sort of special effects weren't translated in what I'm reading, but I assume it maybe says something like his hand is shaking or whatever. Yeah. But I think the way that it was played up in the anime just really drove that home that
it really did.
He's been through this so many times of like whatever fraught relationship he has with his mom.
Right.
And sort of the being like a disappointment. And
he's gay.
He's gay.
He's gay.
How is he not gay?
Does one know?
Does one know that Reagan is gay?
That he wrote like one of the best gay.
Anyway. It's so sad.
It is.
My God,
it is.
My baby.
The thing is, if I can just jump in real quick, I always say Ron writes teenagers really well. I feel like he writes the relationships and how they view the world very distinctly and very realistically. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, he writes your late 20s really well too.
And because that's kind of the age that he is, or that he was when he was writing this.
Yeah.
And kind of, yeah, and I think, like, Reagan in a lot of ways is sort of his, like, I joke, but sort of his self-insert, like,
yeah.
character about probably how he felt like, you know, quitting a job. And the same with, like, you know, Saitama in, like, One Punch Man. Yeah. Where it's, like, you know, quitting a job that's unsatisfying to, like, do what you love. Like, that's his story.
Shit! I didn't realize that. Well, I've only seen, like, One Punch Man, like, a little bit, but
that's his story, and that's the same thing with, like, Reagan. So you can kind of see, like, how he's put himself
right, and then when you get that, like, the same thing where, like, Saitama, I've only seen it so much.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of One Punch Man either.
But what I've seen is, like, he got what he wanted, he became a superhero, but now he's, like, depressed about it.
Yeah, and the
like, same with Reagan.
Which is, like, the truest thing. I mean, I'm only, like, 23 still, but, like, I feel like, it's still so relatable just being an adult and being kind of, like, floundering and
that's the thing is, like, when you get to a certain age, especially when you're out of college, it's kind of hard to make friends.
Oh yeah,
where the fuck are you supposed to make friends?
I don't know.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, am I supposed to be friends with the people I work with?
Yeah,
no. Fuck that
like,
noise.
Not really.
So it is difficult, but yeah, I think he captured that kind of depressed feeling
just
really
like the
well.
Loneliness and, like, the isolation that you can feel at that age.
The isolation.
It's really, like, Reagan is such a relatable character, and I'm so glad for the anime onlys to finally see him.
Yeah, because Reagan's a really multifaceted person.
Yeah.
Or character. Anyway, he's real.
He's a real person.
I love it. In our hearts. Anyway, the next scene.
He feels so real.
He does. Well, that's the thing.
He's a very well fleshed out character.
All of them are.
But I would say, like, Reagan too. Oh, this is just because I'm a huge Reagan stan, but, like, Reagan too. Yeah. Like, it's just an unprecedented extent.
Right. Yeah. Because he's just, like, not one trope, and he comes off at it as the beginning, but he's not.
Yeah.
So then, meanwhile, he's kind of having fun at the karaoke.
He's having a good time. So,
I don't know why, but the scene with Mob at the karaoke really hit me. Like, well, first off, he's playing a tambourine, and he's adorable, and I love him so much. And, you know, like, Tomei and, I said his name, like, 5 minutes ago, and I forgot it already.
Inukawa.
Thank you. Weird eyebrows boy is like, are you having fun? And Mob is just like, I think so. Yeah. And I don't know why, but this line really hit me. And I don't know if it's because, like, Mob is, like, I kind of forget, like, Mob still, like, hides his emotions, and he closets himself. He, he's gay. He, like, shuts down his, emotions from other people, and he doesn't really know what fun is,
and it's kind of a callback to the first season, episode 2, and he's like, you know, what is fun? What do other people enjoy doing?
Right, exactly.
Do I have something I enjoy doing?
Right, because Mob doesn't, like, let himself, like, figure that out or let himself have enjoyment. And it's also, like, relevant to, like, episode 3 in the first season where he has that flashback and all the kids are like, are you having fun? If you're bored, you can leave. And he's like, I am having fun. And he's like, I think. He's like, Mob doesn't let himself be a kid.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing. And so I feel like when he's like, oh, if I distance myself from Master, maybe I'll finally be able to have fun and be able to realize what being a kid is. But he doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't figure. Sorry. It's okay. It doesn't, and it's like it goes back to him, like, closing off his emotions. Which is really sad as a child to do. So yeah, that scene hits me. Boy. Also, Tomei being like, you don't have rhythm, do you? And he's like, correct.
Correct, I do not.
Mob is hilarious.
Yeah, we got Tomei in this episode too. Oh, and which reminded me, I wanted to just shout out Tomei having crumbs on her face, a la Reagan. And if any of you have read the Reagan manga, I just love Reagan and Tomei just interacting.
That's his daughter.
It's her dad.
It's her dad.
Like, it's her dad. Boogie. And I love that the first time they speak is them just screaming at each other over the phone. Yeah. And that they then become friends. Like, I love it so much.
Reagan and Tomei's interactions are hilarious. So and they have, like, a really good development and, like,
I love it because they're so similar.
They are. That's the thing, is they're very similar characters, and it's
Which
super
I think
funny.
is why Bowen's probably put in that they eat the same way and they have all these crumbs all over their face.
They kind of treat Mob the same way, too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, anyway, Reagan goes to a gay bar afterwards.
Reagan goes to a bar called Happy Trails.
Okay, and that is gay. You cannot tell me that isn't. Like,
and we actually, one of our friends kind of dug into, like, the kanjis, and it does, like, mean Happy Trails.
Yeah, so it means, like, pubic hair.
It means, like, pubic hair, yeah. It's not a weird translation
It's
thing.
not. That's gay.
One, why did you do this?
Like, literally, there's no other explanation. Bones did give Reagan, like, a grandpa fisherman jacket.
That.
I'm pretty sure my grandpa had that same exact jacket.
I don't know why they gave him that vest.
Because he wants to dress like an old man.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. But, yeah, I mean, this scene just went on a lot longer than I expected. You know, with him being at the bar, and this is just interesting to me that it kind of, like, they gave a lot of attention to it. And this whole arc, they've really, you know, so far this episode, there hasn't really been anything I can think of that they've cut out from the manga.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which is kind of what I expected, thinking that they would do 2 full episodes.
Yeah.
They really do have to use everything, which I'm glad about. And then they added the bartender saying that he didn't put any alcohol in Reagan's drink, which apparently was in, like, an omake. I
think I remember it.
Yeah.
I think I do remember the omake, but it was, like, later on.
So Bones, like, made that officially, like, canon.
Which is really funny and really, like, it's like, okay, was it placebo? What the fuck happened here?
Yeah, because he's still, like, all, like, red in the face before. Like, I get that he's having a panic attack when he's, like,
he's
puking.
most likely puking from anxiety.
Yeah, which is valid.
Haven't we all been there?
Yeah, we've all been there. That scene was really well done.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Right. I like how Bones put a lot of focus on, like, the moths.
Yeah,
and
I thought that was a really good device to use to, like, show, to kind of, like, cut between his face and the moth, and then the moth, like, falling. Right. That just really conveyed in how the cuts got, like, quicker and quicker each time. It was really... Yeah. That's good filmmaking.
Yeah, the thing is, too, like, with this directly after Mogami, I think a lot of people are especially going to take the bugs into, like, relation with Mogami. I'm too drunk to realize the correlation between Reagan's panic attack and what he's thinking about right now and how that correlates to Mogami, but I'll probably think about it later on when I'm sober. It probably does. Somehow.
Let us know.
Yeah, if you have, like, a connection,
tell
me your meta. So then after Reagan has a panic attack in the alley and throws up, because we all have done that once in a while, he pulls himself together.
And I love this for his character, is that he spirals pretty hard.
Yeah.
But then he immediately wakes up the next morning at 6 a.m. and he's like, I'm gonna get my life together right now. And I love that, because, like, he's not the type of person to wallow. Like, he's gonna find a solution, even if it's not the right one. He's a man of action.
Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, he's not gonna sit down and just, like, let it happen either. Yeah. And that's really telling, because you can even see that from, like, him quitting his, like, comfy business job and just being like, I'm gonna rent this office. I don't know what kind of business I'm gonna have, but fuck, I'm gonna do it.
Office. Yeah, it's inspiring.
What the fuck?
That's an extra battery. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. I just found a battery under my ass.
It's fine. It happens.
Bones
denied us the chance to see Reagan's bedhead.
No bedhead.
Fuck. Which is one of my favorite manga panels. But they did give us Reagan taking his shirt off.
And showering,
which was hilarious. Oh my god. I was screaming because I've always been kind of joking about that panel in Alien Arc when he takes his shirt off, and it's the same, like, you know, pajama shirt that he's wearing. Because I'm like, oh, Bones is gonna, like, have a heart attack.
Yeah, they're throbbing at the mouth already.
But I think they realized that in Alien Arc they can't be horny because it would just be a weird scene to be horny.
The kids are there.
Tomei is right there.
The children are
Mom
there.
Is there, yeah. But they were like, so how can we put this into a place where we can't
Bones
be
have
horny?
A rule pin board in their office where they animate Mob
No
Psycho.
horniness around kids.
Yeah, there's 2 rules that are circled. Make Reagan hot, and then see rule 2, not in front of the children, and it's underlined like 3 times.
It's so true. They're like, you can be as thirsty for Reagan as you want,
but
don't subject
the kids to it.
So I was fine with this.
What would Mob do?
I thought it was great. Loved the hip bones.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was hot.
It was hot, right? Those shoulder
Reagan
blades?
Reagan was the fan service we needed for the show, so the children don't have to be the fan service, as what's usually in shonen anime. So that's cool.
Valid.
Okay, so then Reagan gets more jobs and stuff, and he has a photo board. He has the photo board we saw in the second PV.
Yeah.
But in the second PV, it zooms in on a picture of him and Mom and a nice little selfie, but that's not on the board, so they're gonna take it when they get back together.
They're gonna take a selfie. I don't know if it's gonna be like at the end of next episode or at the beginning of like the next episode or whatever. Yeah. But at some point, they're gonna take a nice picture together and put it on that board. And then it's gonna be there when Tsubomi is there. And so Ritsu's gonna be like, we have to hide that.
Ritsu's hiding under a table like,
the evidence.
Fuck. I can't wait till that happens.
Love that. This is another small thing that we were thinking about after we watched this episode, but like the timeline,
it's not that long.
Is so short.
It is
this whole series.
Okay, so here's I'm actually gonna reread through the whole thing and like actually make a distinct timeline because I'm a fucking nerd like that.
Yeah.
But so the thing is, Reagan's birthday is October 10th, right?
Right. Because he's a 10 out of 10 man.
Well, we can also go into like the number parallels with that and like the number symbolism because there's a lot. Because I think you can also see the kanji for 10 in Reagan's name. I might be wrong or something like that. Something like that. And you can also correlate. One has a lot of number stuff in his work. Cool. Anyway, I mean his name is One. He goes by One as his pen name. So what the fuck do you think it's gonna be? That came off meaner. So here's the timeline. So Reagan's birthday is October 10th, right? Right. So
right.
Right.
Which is when Separation Arc happens.
Right.
Or part of it.
So World Dom happens. After World Dom, Mob is getting ready for like school stuff, and he's like, we should do a Halloween theme because of something, I don't know, fucking know. Yeah. So that means World Dom happens between whenever Separation Arcs before Halloween. That's only a few weeks. So Reagan not only ruined his life in a few days, he also got his life back on track within those same few days, and then ruined it again in the same couple of days.
Mob, it was like 1 week.
And Mob comes back, he's like, it's been a week.
Mob broke up with him on Monday. He spiraled on Tuesday. He got popular on Wednesday and Thursday.
Friday, he's in love.
On TV on Friday.
On Friday, he's in love.
On Saturday.
Mob comes back Monday.
Mob comes back the following Monday. It was a week.
Mob was on a nice...
It was quite the week.
When Mob comes back...
Mob's like, I can't leave you alone.
I can't leave you alone for a week. When Mob comes back, Reagan's like, so I'm going to put that as your vacation time, all right? All right. And Mob's like, God fucking damn it.
Well, if he got paid, was it paid vacation?
Oh, shit.
Probably not.
Who's going to notice
He's
the fucking HR?
He's not legally employed, so it's probably not paid vacation.
Do they have an HR department?
Mom's the HR department.
Yeah, that's fair. So anyway,
the whole thing is so fast.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, because like World Domination Arc is that like 1 day?
Honestly, World Dom might be one day.
Like it's really fast, even though it's so long.
World Dom is such a long arc too, and it's shit after shit. No, it has to be long. Maybe it's like Mob's 2 days asleep. Because Mob's asleep for at least 12 hours.
Okay.
Let him.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad I think it's at least. I'm gonna have to reread it again. Anyway,
that's a tangent. But so then it ended with this TV scene, and as I said last week, I thought that this episode was going to end with Reagan getting exposed on TV. So this whole time, I was like checking the runtime, like how much time is left.
When's his exposure?
And then at a certain point, I was like, yeah, they're not going to go through him actually getting exposed. And I liked how they cut this. I thought it worked really well.
I did too.
With it cutting when Jodo is like, you bitch, I'm gonna ruin your life.
I'm gonna wreck your ass on live TV.
Like, yeah, man,
I'm on TV.
Feels good,
man. Yeah, so Reagan gets his ass wrecked on TV next week.
Can't wait.
That sounds like a different title for something else.
All right, and then the ending.
So the ending kind of confirmed that they are adding characters into it.
Because they added Minori.
So...
Which I didn't even notice the first time, because I was on a whole another plane of existence that I didn't absorb anything from the ED.
You were only paying attention to parts with Reagan on the screen. And
I was shaking.
Yeah, you were actually shaking.
I was actually shaking for 2 hours after this episode, so I'm not going to be okay on Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are going to add characters. They're gonna add Sho.
Yeah, because they released like the cover for the EP, and it showed like Sho's artwork for it. So Sho's definitely gonna be in it.
The question is, are they gonna add Serizawa?
My main man.
Because they're only really adding the characters after they are redeemed. And
Kinda, yeah.
And with Serizawa, he's not really, like, he's gonna be in a few episodes before he's redeemed, but...
Yeah. If they end...
It could only be, like, the last, like, episode.
Right. If they end season 2 where I think they're gonna end it with Serizawa getting redeemed, and they probably will cut out, like, the ending in the last episode, probably, I don't know.
Yeah, they might not have the actual ending in the last episode.
So Serizawa won't be there. That's why he's in the OP 3 times.
But he'll be getting his haircut.
But he'll be getting his glow up.
His glow up.
My main man, Serizawa.
Serizawa.
Who I love. How many weeks left till Serizawa?
I love. Wait, so 7 is on Monday?
Yeah.
2, I think. I think we're going to see a little flash of Serizawa in episode 9, but we're not going to get any speaking lines from him or really even see him until episode 10.
What's his voice going to sound like?
Leak the voice actor, Bones.
I can't wait. I love Serizawa. Every
too.
week we're closer and closer to my man.
Every week.
My true love. Anyway, so preview for next week.
Oh, next week. This is going to destroy me.
The episode's called True Identity. Reagan gets fucked.
Reagan gets fucked.
Reagan fucks up.
Reagan fucks up.
Again.
It's called, like, Cornered True Identity.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, they're gonna do the flashback next episode.
Yeah, they're gonna do the flashback next episode. Yeah, they are. This whole episode, like, really, the press conference scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire manga, and I'm not gonna be able to handle it. Just everything about it is so fucking good. He is a good person!
Oh, no. I can't deal with
I
that.
can't do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, Monday's gonna be good.
Okay, Monday. Monday.
Sunday.
They didn't show a lot. The preview only really had stuff from the TV.
They showed some of this TV, and then they showed some of probably the press conference, and they showed a little bedheaded mob. Oh yeah, Mob, like, watching it on TV or whatever he's doing. I wonder, isn't there a small scene in the manga where one of the students go up to Mom and is like, isn't this your master?
And he's Inakawa.
Like...
Yeah, Inakawa.
Yeah, he's like, here's a Google page of your fucking master. And he's like, oh.
Mom looks at him and he's like, oh.
Yeah, Mom's like, oh, wig. He's like, guess I gotta go back to work.
Yeah.
So my boss doesn't die. Yeah, I guess I gotta go save my fucking boss's ass. So next episode's gonna be a lot, especially, like, I love Mom and Reagan's dynamic a lot. I love how they are together as characters, and I think they really help each other grow.
Yeah.
Their relationship's my favorite in the show, and it's a good thing that it's like one of the main relationships, but
it really is the heart of the show.
It really is.
There's a lot going on, but, like, the heart of it is Mob and Reagan.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like at the end of the day, it's like Reagan helps Mob in some way, and now we're getting more into Mob helps Reagan in some shape or form, and you see that more.
And, like, who Reagan is, because that's an important part of it too, is, like, sort of as the relationship between Mob and Reagan, and as Mob grows up, he starts to see Reagan as, like, a real person and not just, like, this, like, mentor / like, father figure to him. He's like, oh, this is a real person with, like, his own issues,
right,
and his own baggage and stuff.
A lot of baggage.
Of baggage.
Yeah. It's good.
Oh, it's good.
It's good. They're definitely... I really love, like, the mentor and mentee kind of relationship in the series, and, like, it's like, oh, I wonder if the mentor even actually cares about him, kind of stuff. And I think Mob Psycho is, like, probably my favorite example of it, honestly. Just because, like, it shows that Reagan does really care about Mob.
Yeah.
And also, Mob obviously really cares about Reagan, and I'm so excited about world domination! Okay.
You have grown up.
You have grown up! Alright, bye, everybody. Grow up. Bye then.
Grow up, for crying out loud.
Jesus Christ.